president was in Pittsburgh yesterday saying, don't worry, the American Jobs Plan isn't going to result in anybody paying more taxes. That's if you make less than $400,000. But the corporate tax rate will go from 21% to 28%, and that'll raise an extra $1 trillion in revenue over 15 years. And the president says this isn't about penalizing anyone. It has nothing to do with millionaires and billionaires. But watch your wallet. Tony Daunt, the executive director of the Michigan Freedom Fund, on our AT&T line right this moment. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. A blessed Holy Thursday to you. And just for the record, I'm neither a millionaire or a billionaire. So.
Okay, then I guess you're safe, unless you believe in trickle-down economics, which I'm going to guess that you do.
Well, it's amazing that Democrats never seem to learn the basics of economics, that when you raise taxes, it's going to get paid by the end user, the consumer, at some point. So, but that's neither here nor there. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I guess the University of Michigan regents are going to get together and talk about what went on with Ron Weiser, one of the regents, and they're going to have a special meeting on Good Friday, in fact. Fred Upton, the congressman, was with us yesterday, and he said, I talked to Ron Weiser, the Republican Party chair, and I've forgiven him. And, of course, he and Pete Meyer were the people mentioned, the Congress people that I won't even say what the ambassador said, but he was feeding red meat to the crowd, it sounded like, and he got a little carried away. Your thoughts as a Republican on that? And I know that you are very critical at times of hypocrisy in the government, and but you would never go so far as to call the Secretary of State, the governor, and the Attorney General witches, would you?
No, I think that type of rhetoric, and Ron has apologized. I know he has mentioned to those individuals privately and also a public statement, and we should take him at his word that he regrets it. But it was careless, and he said things that in the moment may have seemed to make sense, but ultimately, just especially in this kind of climate we have politically, it's not appropriate. And the initial inclination to kind of double down and try to deflect was the wrong one. When you make a mistake, recognize it and apologize, and that generally goes a long way. And those who wish to reject the apology, well, then that's on them. Making a sincere effort at apology. That also, I think it's fair to point out the hypocrisy of Democrats in going after Ron for those statements so vehemently. These are the same folks who, in same breath, are referring to legislation by Republicans across this country to protect the security, integrity of our vote and our elections as Jim Crow and putting lipstick on Jim Crow. That's contemptible rhetoric, and it does nothing to enhance the debate on that issue or any other. And so I think both sides really need to take a look in the mirror and cool this rhetoric and, seek to have a debate that is productive, not just, undermining the other side with kind of that contemptuous thinking towards them.
Are we, speaking of debate, still debating right to work?
Unfortunately, it appears that we are. The federal, the Congress, Democrats in Congress have introduced one of those clever acronyms, the PRO Act, which they've referred to as Protecting Right to Organize Act, and it seeks to undermine and undo the various right to work laws in 27 states now in this country, and it's one and the same with their HR 1 and S1 related to elections, where they can't stand the idea that states in this country govern themselves in ways that they may not like, that they think, in New York, just because they do something one way, or California, they should do the same in Michigan or Alabama or Georgia. And it's dangerous. It seeks to undermine the great growth in these right-to-work states. And it flies in the face of Supreme Court rulings, at least with public sector unions, that right-to-work laws are protected, and people should not be forced to join a union if they don't want to.
That seems fundamental. It wasn't for many years, and when Michigan made that move, it was a major decision. And 27 states across the country have done it. And will you keep us up to date? Well, what happens next, anyway?
Well, thankfully, State Senator Eric Nesbitt has introduced a resolution in the Senate, which passed the Senate, now over to the House, that states the Michigan legislature's opposition to the PRO Act, and I hope that the House will take that up and vote that same way, and hopefully we'll see this PRO Act go away and not be subject to passage and enforcing these kind of liberal anti-right-to-work laws on states that have already passed them. And quite frankly, here in Michigan, the Democrats made a huge show of what they were going to do for those who voted for right to work in 2012. One member even said there'd be blood in the streets, and it came to pass that didn't happen. And I think it's shown it's popular, and we hope to keep it.
I'm guessing the numbers are on your side.
Absolutely. Numerous studies that show that right to work is popular, not just with Republicans, but with Democrats and even independents, and that it is, shows to be helpful for job creation. And those right to work states have better job creation, better wages, and an overall more productive economic outlook.
Tony Daunt, Michigan Freedom Fund. His Front Lines to Freedom is available every Friday for free in your inbox. Just Google up Michigan Freedom Fund and Tony Daunt. He'll connect with you personally, just like he does on the radio here.